The opening match will be played on Fighting Spirit. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position, your blue Protoss from Woongjin Stars. His name is Flying. Getting a nice close-up there of mining the minerals.
And also a very nice close-up of Flying, just, well,
wiping the sweat off his face.
There we go. His opponent spawning in the 1 o'clock position, the top right position of the map, playing for Kespa teammate. His name is Ty, spawning as a red Terran.
Ty looking pretty focused this game. Looks like he's good to go, man.
Well, he needs to be really focused because, you know, Kespa teammate, they have the 2 solid players like Terminator and Argo, but they need the 3rd and the 4th player because remember, when it comes to the regular rounds and, you know, in Winners League, it doesn't count as much since one player can change the whole momentum and bring the win to their team. But when we go to the regular round, you know, the best of 7 series, the Team League series the Pro League is known for, they need at least 4 or 5 players from each team performing well. If not, then, you know, even if Argo and Terminator does well, their best score is going to be 4-2.
That's
with
true.
them losing.
Yeah, you really need to have that depth when it comes to the Pro League.
Now these fans did come from Daegu, so you get all of these fans in Korea traveling 2 or 3 hours just to watch Pro League.
So where is Daegu on the South Korean map?
It's like, you know, a little bit towards the bottom. It's like, I would say in between, middle. Actually, I might be confusing 2 places at once because like there's Daegu and Daejeon.
Okay. Well, it's not like Sinchon and Sinchon.
Yeah, well, those are like really close, man.
They're 2 different places, by the way, guys. They're on opposite sides of Seoul, so you can get lost if you accidentally take a text to the one woman and misunderstand you.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still within Seoul. That's what that's that way.
Wow, officially the oldest people I've ever seen watching StarCraft right here, guys.
Officially I've seen some older people.
I guess, all right.
During the summer. But that's only because like a lot of people travel to Korea and they're like, oh, hey, there's a stadium up there. I wonder what they're doing in there.
So there's, you know, some random guys wanting to come down and watch some StarCraft now. I do want to note here that we're seeing a factory opening and...
Flying doesn't scout it.
Flying doesn't scout it. That's actually a huge mistake.
Whoa!
What?
He actually didn't think that the command center was... Okay, so he did see the Marine, so he should know where the opponent is.
Here's the thing, though. He didn't see the gas time.
Yeah, he didn't see the gas.
He doesn't know about the early factory. That's actually a huge blunder by Flying there. He could have an easy, perfect scout on his opponent here and know how to react accordingly, but he's kind of playing a little blind now, just waiting for a command center.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I have a feeling he should actually sacrifice a probe and see what his opponent is going for, because right now there's a Widow Mine drop coming. Yeah,
the Widow Mine drop is on its way, and Flying, he has no idea what's going on here. He just is completely in the dark, and there's 3 Marines near the ramp there now, so we're not going to be able to see any scouting come from that probe anymore.
Now, let's see what Flying does. Some players, they like to play greedy and put up more gateways behind it just to make sure they have the gateway units against some early pressure. But yes, this is the answer when you go for early expansion, going for the Robo right after the Nexus.
Of course, getting that Robo, following up with 2 more gateways. Pretty much the standard nowadays against Terran players. So not surprised to see that at all.
Eventually, Flying will be able to defend against the Widow Mine drop, but the problem is, how much damage is Ty going to do with the initial medevac drop, and how is Flying gonna react to it? Because remember, Ty doesn't have a natural command center coming up. Flying's natural nexus is already finished right now, which means that as long as Flying defends against a medevac drop, he's gonna be far ahead in the game.
That's true, so it's very important here for Ty to do a critical amount of damage. And we're even seeing Flying here going for a pretty greedy build, actually. He is not getting up his additional gateways. He went for that forge, but look at this, he's already making cannons. I think, does he like already know what's happening even though he saw nothing?
I think those are for a little bit more early defense, and then he's like, well, I have to account for everything now.
That's true. He's getting the cannon as mirror line. His observer's going to complete soon here.
Now the medevac drop does come, but Flying doesn't know about it.
He does. All right, so the Widow Mine is going to go to the main or natural here. The observer is already out. We're going to probably see the Nexus cannon go down pretty soon here. And the Photon Cannon has just completed here. Ty doing the best he can, but look at that. Looks like we have one of those units sniped off there, but 2 Hellions in the main base with a bunker being built at the natural here. And all of a sudden, this single pylon, this Artosis pylon here, this could be a big deal if our Woongjin player doesn't defend against this. Nexus Cannon going down. That's going to force this away and killing off another Widow Mine here. Ty will be forced to at least retreat to the natural.
Yeah, but the bunker already finished up, which means that flying, he only has one gateway. He has an Immortal coming out, but that's a long way from finishing. So Ty, he has enough time to take this Nexus down.
That's true. Unless there's energy for the Nexus Cannon, which there's not, man. It's still 30 energy away. And behind this, if we look at Ty's side of the map here, you know, he's getting that command center up, making an armory, so we're going to probably see some type of mech follow-up. We do have the siege tank on the way. Maybe even some Hellbats going to be added into the mix here.
Yeah, but just looking at the things right now, Ty's doing an amazing job from the situation that he was given. You know, usually players, they panic when they see a cannon inside the main base, but Ty didn't panic. And those Hellions!
One of them
gets some 4 kills.
4 kills there, very impressive. And this medevac will eventually be forced to retreat those Marines. But Ty, I have to say, throughout all of this, you know, he's a little bit ahead in the supply here, and Flying still has no idea what his opponent's really going to do after this. Yeah, and this is only because he didn't make that many gateways right after. There are Hellbats being added in, so it seems like Ty wants to keep on the pressure. Remember, there's also the scan off?
There's also another medevac out on the way.
So the Observer will see the factory continuing to build units here. The question is, how will Flying respond to this? You know, he doesn't know entirely if it's completely mech at this point, because we don't see a lot of additional units being built beyond the 111 as far as production facilities go. That poor SCV was dropped off the die. I guess he didn't do a good job repairing or something.
Well, he did do a nice job taking against the medevac.
I guess he did. He saved the medevac.
For the medevac.
My life for medevacs instead for Ire this time around.
Well, the Hellbats are being added in, and more medevacs are out on the way. Seems like Time wants to keep on constant pressure. You know, something that we saw a lot during the Brood War days, where the Terran players try to keep on a lot of pressure if they go for the starport with the vultures inside the dropship. So,
are you talking about fantasy now, man?
We're seeing those like similar styles come back in Starcraft 2.
Yeah, you know, as time goes on, people are going to get more used to, you know, being able to multitask more and do more things at once.
Oh,
at least that. Oh, this medevac getting caught out in the open here will get sniped off. And wow, medevac does get sniped. Hellions do drop though, but at the same time, we have a humongous Hellbat drop at the natural of our Protoss player here. Flying, forced to retreat with a lot of his probes. I have to say that the economic damage that we've been seeing from Ty, you know, he's been able to do a lot of it here, and looks like he will be able to snipe off that extra stalker there. It's so close. No, barely escaping.
He could have definitely gone for it, but it seems like, well, I want to change the target at the last second and get my medevac inside the probe line once again.
And the Hellbats in the main mineral line. That cannon, though, doing a great job, but looking at the worker count here, 19 overall probes have been killed this game from Ty. And at the same time, Flying, he's keeping the pressure on at that natural there.
This is so smart by Ty, I have to say. He's just forcing his opponent to go all in within 2 bases right now. It's like, well, you don't have that much facility, and you can't get a third Nexus right now because you don't have that much army. So right now, please squeeze out the army and go for one counterattack. I already have 3 bunkers up. I am ready for your counterattack, but I want you to go for it right now.
Well, we did see Ty do some SCV pulling. I believe last time he played against a Protoss player, but will it work again today? Because, you know, when you get those Hellbats, you expect the Terran player a lot of the times to go for that pre-base push here. Doing a little bit of damage, forced out once again here. At the same time, Flying and trying to attack that barracks there. It will be able to complete, so that stim will finish in time. Also looking at overall upgrades, we have +1 armor for the Protoss player, +1 attack on the way for him, and the +1 attack just finishes well. That actually managed to get killed off there. Very surprising, actually.
I didn't expect that at all.
Neither did I. I thought like, oh, it's like still high in health. It's going to get repaired. Ty continuing these really annoying Hellbat drops. You know, Flying doing a decent job at pulling his probes out, but don't forget that that's a lot of mining time that he's losing out on here.
Yeah, the issue is that he's pulling the probes. He's giving his opponent a situation where Flying has to pull the probes.
Oh, no! Flying, unfortunately, not paying enough attention there. He has lost 32 workers now. I would be feeling so stressed if I was flying right now. I'd be like, I keep losing all my workers. These Hellbats, they're just roasting my mineral line. Even with the cannon in the main base, he's still losing so many workers.
I would have pulled the plug to my USB keyboard, my mouse, and the computer at this point.
You know what? My keyboard would probably look like how Day 9's does at this point. The broken one he showed recently.
Definitely. I mean,
that'd be my keyboard, man.
Let's talk a little bit more about the game here, because what happens when it comes to the mid to late game for Protoss players is that the units are so strong that they just roll over the Terran player and win the game. And some people are like, well, how do we make sure that the Protoss do not get to the stage? And Ty's showing us right now. He's doing constant harassment. He's making sure the probes are always pulled away from the mineral line.
Don't let those probes stack up. All right, he does stop that Hellbat harass. Does a little bit of damage. Not a huge amount, though.
Well, about 20 more probes have been killed.
Never mind. All right. Well, we do have the +2 attack and the +1 armor on the way for our Terran player. He's completing up most of his bio upgrades as well here. Getting a few Vikings behind this as well to combat the Colossi that are starting up here. And we do see the 2-2 starting for our Protoss player as well, while Ty takes a third of his own.
The only thing that I'm disappointed about Ty throughout this whole game is that his macro hasn't been perfect. Look at this, he already has 1,000 minerals right now. He could have converted every single one of them to the Marines and hit a timing. Against one Colossus, that's nothing. We're 15 minutes into the game. Flying is just saturated on 2 bases again, and now he's getting additional gateways, finally going for the Templar Archive. So he's barely staying in this game, but his opponent is just going much further ahead as time goes on. And like I said, Flying, he's forced to stay in 2 bases.
Yeah, he cannot take a 3rd base quite yet against the Terran player because he's just that far behind, man. He can't afford to take that base. It'll get crushed instantly by any pressure that Ty wants to put on his opponent here. And we do have the charge upgrade about halfway done for our Protoss player. Also researching Storm. And he did see the robotics. Looks like he does know about the Templar Archives as well. The Ghost Academy just completed here. Ty is going to be ready for everything that Flying prepares here. And unless he makes a humongous mistake, I can't see him losing this game.
Yeah, the only thing that Ty has to look out for is the main engagement. If he just misses the EMPs and then gets his entire army stormed, then the Ty can turn for Flying side. And it's, look at this, Flying doing a nice job with the Warp Prison drop inside the main base.
It looks like he wants to dish back some damage that Ty dealt him earlier on in the game, so the Zealot's going to drop in the main base here. Charge is just a moment from completing. The Siege Tank, though, shelling on those Zealots, and the bio units over here going to be able to pretty much easily take out those Zealots, not losing really any SCVs there.
Oh yeah, definitely, and now Ty's just getting into position in the middle of the map. He doesn't exactly know what his opponent has, but it seems like he doesn't have the confidence to actually go into that main army of Flying. If this was someone like Flash who was like really confident with his bio army micro, then he would have gone for it at this point.
I think Flying would have already been dead right now since he's playing Flash, because Flash, he won't misstep his micro either. Looks like the Vikings trying to do a little bit of damage here. Now Ty deciding to press forward, instant cancel on that 3rd base, and nice move by Ty. Just going to go ahead and jet out of there with those medevacs.
Well, a little more mistake by Ty. Seems like he's not actually salvaging those bunkers at the natural. But other than those little things, Ty has been playing really great. He had a really solid concept of going for the constant harassment against his Protoss opponent, and eventually he's going to get better army than his opponent.
This Colossus is kind of out in the middle of the map here, but the Vikings, even more of the fish out of water scenario for them. They're getting picked off here, but additional Vikings, he's going to be fine. Ty, will those bunkers come in handy right now? We may not even have to see that here because, nice storm going down, hitting a lot of those units there, those ghosts. Looks like they're able to weather the storm there, but just barely.
At the very last second, I have to say, because those ghosts, if they weren't running, they would have died right now. Now, it seems like Ty, he exactly knows what his opponent has, and he's going to slowly move out on the map and deny the 3rd base once again. I think that's what he should do at this point, actually, because now he's just giving his opponent too much time to come back into the game, because he has the unit composition. He has the Colossus out, he has the 2nd Colossi coming out. He already has the High Templars, which can avoid some EMPs, and then if he can get money storms on Ty's army. This was a situation that we were talking about before when Flying has this, smaller army, but better AoE army, and if Ty screws up once, then Flying's gonna be ahead.
We do see Ty. He's grabbing his 4th base, though, so at least on an economic standpoint, he's still in a pretty solid position here over his opponent. And this 4th base, it does complete here. Ty, he's kind of could potentially get sandwiched here. We're going to need to see some good EMPs here. 2 ghosts getting sniped off quite quickly there. And we haven't seen any storms yet. They can come in here, though. No.
Nice snipes!
Getting picked off. The ghosts, they're doing nothing this game here. And the firepower, though, is still quite impressive from Flying's army here. Will he be able to push, hold off his opponent? These charge shots reinforcing here, but I think Ty, he just has slightly too many units for Flying to handle here. With the reinforcements, he should be able to force Flying out of this 3rd base position and out of this game.
Oh yeah, Ty did an amazing job baiting out some of the storms and getting a nice snipe on, and the EMPs on the Templars, making the Templars useless, and Ty, he took out the 3rd base. Now he's taking down the Colossus. There's nothing that Flying has against Ty's main army.
There's nothing left here. 170 to 52 supply. And upgrade-wise, even though the Protoss player, he recently hit 3-3, doesn't even matter. The Terran's at 3-2 right now, probably researching that +3 armor. He just has way too much for Flying to deal with. And Flying, you know, he's on 2 base. His main base is already mined out. His natural almost mined out as well. He's got nothing besides a handful of Archons and some Zealots to handle an almost maxed out Terran army.
Yeah, even if Flying somehow defends against this, what is he going to do after?
Well, that's a good question, man. But I don't think there's an answer for that one. So Flying losing the last of his units here. GG is called. The first match going to Ty, showing some pretty cool harassment early on in the game.
You know, I believe a lot of fans out there saw the Alive and Oz interview video, and you know, Oz did say, as a Protoss player, you have to defend, and be patient as possible. But Flying, he just couldn't defend against the multiple medevac drops. Instead, he tried to put some pressure with the Immortals, and that allowed his probes to just run around free inside the main base and the natural, away from the Hellbats.
You know, I also think that maybe he got those Immortals, like, one was for panic defense, because he went
because of the bunker.
Yeah, because of the bunker. And he got the second one afterward because maybe he was confused his opponent was going for mech, because he was on the 1-1-1 for a while. You know, 1 barracks, 1 starport, 1 factory. You know, he got the siege tank out and he saw Hellbats, but that's not what ended up happening from Ty.
Getting a second Immortal was a nice way to bait out all of those bunkers at the natural, but it just didn't justify when all those Hellbats arrived at the natural and the main base, killing up to what, 50 probes in throughout the whole game?
Yeah, they killed an insane amount of workers there. Ty's harassment this game was very impressive. Flying's defense, not so great though. Even though he had a cannon in his mineral line, you know, he still lost a lot of workers.
Yeah, even if you have 1 cannon, you need a gateway army to actually take